Good afternoon, all. So, for this month in safety training, some of the ones that we did before was kind of catch up. Um, but for this month, one of the main topics is respecting diversity. I said respecting diversity instead of diversity. Anyway, um, and respecting diversity just means we work, and when we come to program and living in the Bay Area, really anywhere you live, there's diversity everywhere, but this is a very diverse area. People come from a lot of different backgrounds, be it racially, ethnically, religiously. Just there's so much richness when it comes to diversity here. Now, thing is that sometimes it's respected, sometimes it's not respected. Sometimes when it's not respected, it's because people are misunderstood or people don't understand where people are coming from. And so, part of respecting diversity and part of, well, when it's being disrespected, something that happens is bullying. So, today we're going over, it's something the DDS put out, the Department of Developmental Services. And it's what to do if you are bullied. And, so it's kind of our way of reaching out to let you know that you're not alone. You have support staff that will support you if you feel bullied or that you're being bullied or that you see somebody being bullied. You know what to do in those situations. So, and sometimes it's confusing to know what's bullying and what's not. What's just, playful banter, joking around, things like that. And where does it cross the line into bullying? So, like I said, this is what to do if you're being bullied or if you are bullied. And so they provide us with a checklist. An Are You Being Bullied checklist. Now, let's go over this checklist. And, I think at some point in most of our lives, each one of us has been bullied in some way. And so it's important to know that it's not right, and it is not respectful. And especially when it comes to, making fun of somebody for having a point of view is part of their diversity that is something that you don't understand, apparently, if you're going to bully somebody. Or why you're getting bullied is because you have a belief that some people don't understand. Well, and the thing is that, each person's beliefs, as long as they're not, well, there's a lot of crazy beliefs out there. As long as it doesn't infringe on anybody else's rights, you have the right to believe what you want and say what you want. But here we go. So it says read each of the following questions and check any boxes you think might apply to you. So think about this. Do I feel bullied? Let me check this off. See. So do other individuals make mean comments about you? Like, and what do we consider mean? I mean, it could be just insulting you, talking behind your back, things like that. Have we ever been called hurtful names? Let's check part number 2. Are you ever teased for how you look or act? And do you feel alone or isolated at home, work, or in the community? So kind of withdrawn. Has anyone ever spread mean or untrue rumors about you? And this can happen in a lot of different ways. It can happen just like I said, behind your back. But there's also a lot of cyberbullying that is done now, where people can spread rumors via the internet, email, it's all sorts of social media, tweeting, stuff that I don't really do, but they might, and so that would be included in that part of the checklist as well. Are you ever purposefully or purposely excluded from a group, so not allowed in? Say, no. And remember, this is something that sometimes happens in our vans that people are, oh, no, 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 we don't want them in the van. That's bullying. And my policy with that is if somebody says, no, I don't want that person in the van, then I'm like, well, then you can go. If you don't feel comfortable, then you go ahead and go to a different van. That will make you feel more comfortable. But everybody that's in my van should feel comfortable. And we should all try to get along. And let's let this person in there. Have you ever felt that someone thought of you as a friend is trying to control you? Now, I've run into this, not so much where we are, but in the last place that I worked. There was one individual who, well, they knew that another person that was their friend, or friend, that they would do whatever they wanted, and they can manipulate and control their thoughts and their actions, and would never, like, the other person was much too shy to actually ever say, hey, you're hurting my feelings, or I don't want to do this. But it wasn't that the other person was terrible or mean. Like, they never really asked them to do mean things, but sometimes they would just be uncomfortable. And if they ever got in a fight, the other person would always feel just like, it's my fault, I did something wrong, they don't like me now. So, but that's when you're in a relationship where somebody's controlling, and they're controlling how you feel. No, that's not fair. Has someone ever touched you in a way that felt inappropriate, demeaning, or threatening? And this can be a whole lot of different things. One thing I will say is even just poking somebody, or messing with their chair or their headrest or anything like that, and like just playing around where it's like, okay, I don't know what this is. Like, why are they doing this? Are they playing around, or is this just me? If you're the person doing that, you really shouldn't be doing that, because you probably wouldn't want it to be done to you. So don't do it to somebody else. Has anyone ever mocked or mimicked the way you talk or act? Has anyone ever damaged your belongings? That is a sure sign. It's definitely bullying. Are you ever afraid to go to work, school, home, or into the community? And depending on which one of those there are, please really talk to the person that's either, or somebody that's at your work, school, home, or in the community that can maybe help you in that situation. Do you get anxious about how you are treated by individuals in these places, be it work, school, home, or in the community? Have photos of you been posted online without your permission? And remember, where we are, you have to sign off on a waiver. This is something where somebody's taking pictures like, haha, that's hilarious, I'm going to post this. And that, well, one, it's illegal. It can be considered a lot of different things. So, and if they're doing it in a demeaning way, there is action that you can take. But, again, has anyone ever pretended to be you on a social media site? Yeah, that crosses a lot of lines. I don't think everyone's ever done that to me. That's way before my time of bullying. Have people ever posted mean things about you online or commented in a mean way on things you post? So here's a checklist. If you're checking off pretty much any of these, you're being bullied in some way. If you're checking off a bunch and it has to do with specific people or specific places that you are, work, school, home, or in the community, yeah, something should be done. And if you don't feel you can, you should advocate for yourself first off. If you don't feel you can, you need to find some allies that will help. And staff, we're always there to help. I would be right there. So what to do? Number one, remember that you can do something about bullying. So no one deserves to be bullied. It's not your fault. You have the right to ask someone to stop the behavior. Right? That's advocating for yourself. And you don't have to go through this experience alone. So tell someone whom you trust. So you can tell a friend, family member, or a support person. It could be ILS, it could be one of the staff here, it could be anybody that you really trust that you think would actually help. And then thirdly, come up with a plan. If it happened at home, talk to your support person. If it happened at work, talk to your supervisor. If it happened at school, talk to a teacher or a counselor. But yes, you need to make sure that you're identifying and letting people know. Because, a lot of times people don't see. what's going on. So, here's an activity. So, I'm going to go over it, and I want you to let me know if there's anything you would change or do differently. So, here's a scenario. So, Jane just started to attend a day program. Let's say, like ours. At the day program, a member named Alice started telling others not to be Jane's friend, saying mean things about Jane that made her want to be alone. Is this an example of someone being bullied? Yes, no, or not sure. And quickly, of course, you have to jump to yes, and not just that. This is not good news. Sorry, I laugh because it's uncomfortable, but it happens, and I've seen it so many times. But the main reason is they just started the day program, just started, and someone's already telling people not to be their friend. See that and it's tough when you just start a day program because how many people can you trust? So say it was you were that person and you didn't know any of the staff or anybody there. Maybe go above the staff at that point and go to a supervisor, but at least let your family know. Say, hey, this is happening day one, but people need to know, and you should tell your staff, and hopefully staff would be watching out for that. But if it's behind where where they're just kind of, don't be that person's friend. They're hearing about it, or you're hearing about it. You're Jane in the situation, but yes, that is definitely bullying. So, if yes, which it is this an example of bullying? What happened? Well, we already kind of went over that. Immediately starting program, this person, Alice, started bullying Jane by talking behind her back and saying mean things about her and made her already feel isolated. And where did it happen? It happened at the day program. Right there, first day. And who bullied who? Well, that's Alice bullying Jane. All Jane did was try to attend a day program and have a good day. And from the get-go, Alice, for some reason, had a problem with her. Maybe they knew each other from school or something. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. It's still bullying. And it's definitely Alice is the one beginning it. And how do you think this made them feel? Well, already says in there, alone, probably afraid, mistrustful, distrustful of the program if staff hadn't noticed or done anything. If it was right in front of the staff, it could make you feel a lot of different ways. Sad, depressed, scared. So, and who should they tell? Now, we went over this already, but they should tell a support staff, especially one who was the leader of their group that day. And maybe the staff didn't hear it, but you pull them aside and say, hey, there was somebody who was at our program and, well, before they were in before you hit ours, they were at the program that I worked before. And this isn't a bullying thing, but I was impressed with them because their very first day they were scared and didn't know, and they were in my group. And we were just sitting waiting for a bus, and they just started crying. Now, the weird thing is there were other staff that saw the crying first, and they went over to comfort her. Sorry. No, it was her. But then they say, oh, she's in your group, so you should take care of it. Now, to me, that's not the best way to go about it. However, any staff that's there should help with the situation. But of course, I was like, wow, what's going on? So I went over and asked, and they were just scared. And that's all it was. But I was impressed. Not only did they cry, but they actually came forward and said, this is how I'm feeling. But, that's what you should tell someone. And even if you're hurt and you're crying and you're scared, please let somebody know. Because nobody wants you to feel that way. Nobody wants anybody to feel that way. And the final thing with this is, remember you are not alone. There are plenty of places you can go. There's Stop Bullying site. The Pacer Center's Teen Against Bullying. You can always go above me, and then above my supervisor, and above their supervisor, if things aren't being done. But let your family know, let everyone know that's important if you're being bullied. Someone that you trust, though. Someone that you trust will actually get it done. So again, let's respect diversity. Let's try to learn from each person's diverse way of being. and not bully it, not point it out as something odd or different. That's bad. But maybe something that's different that you'd like to know more about. Say, hey, I don't know much about that. Maybe even talk to the staff person if you notice somebody who just came to a program and I don't know much about that or their culture. You could ask the staff, hey, could we do a class on them if they're comfortable with it? And maybe we could kind of come together. And believe me, staff would be happy to do that. All right, well, that's been the first part of our Respecting Diversity class and not bullying. All right, well, you all have a great day. If you have any questions, and please let me know if there's anything you would do different in this situation with Jane and Alice. Okay, I appreciate it. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day now.